Call to order, Town of Prescott Valley regular town council meeting, October 22nd. Welcome, everyone. At this time, I'd like to invite Pastor David Knight from Bethel Baptist Church down for our invocation. Sir, welcome.
Should we begin with our... Heavenly Father, thank you for this time that you've given us. And I pray right now that we would be a thankful people. We thank you for our veterans. We thank you for this beautiful area that we live in. Father, I thank you for the servants of the town of Prescott Valley that are before us. And I thank you for the citizens who are here, who care about their community. Father, I pray that everything that occurs tonight would reflect the love that you've shown to us, would reflect the wisdom that you have, that would reflect how awesome you are. Father, I thank you right now that you loved us so much that you sent your Son for us, and then you call us to love one another. Help that love to be reflected in this time. I pray this in Jesus' name, Father. Amen.
And sir, will you please start us off for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Hunt?
Present.
Councilmember Schumacher?
Present.
Councilmember Packard?
Present.
Councilmember Grossman?
Still here.
Councilmember Anderson is absent. Vice Mayor Nye?
Here.
Mayor Palguda?
Present.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item 5, proclamations. No Shave November 2020 proclamation. I believe Town Manager will start us off on that one.
No Shave November 2020. Whereas, among American men, prostate cancer is both the second most common diagnosed cancer and the second leading cause of cancer death. Although prostate cancer incidence and mortality rates have declined over the past 2 decades, this year alone, an estimated 239,000 men in the United States will be diagnosed with the illness, and almost 30,000 men will die from this disease. And whereas 1 in 8 men have a chance of being diagnosed with prostate cancer, and testicular cancer is the most common cancer in American males between the ages of 15 and 35. Despite these facts, 90% of prostate cancer is treatable if caught in the early stages. This makes awareness and early detection crucial. Being responsible for your health at every age and always getting your annual health check is a key part of making positive change for men's health. And whereas the No Shave November campaign encourages men to grow a beard for 30 days during the month of November, thereby becoming walking and talking billboards for men's health to raise awareness, encourage conversation about men's health, and raise funds for research and programs that combat prostate cancer and testicular cancer. And whereas educating the public and health care providers about the importance of healthy lifestyles and early detection of male health problems will result in reducing the rates of mortality from disease. Now therefore, I, Cal Palguda, Mayor of the town of Prescott Valley, Arizona, do hereby declare November 2020 as No Shave November, and urge all men in the town of Prescott Valley to show their support of men's health initiatives by growing a beard for 30 days.
Thank you, sir. We're going to move on to National American Indian Heritage Month. Ladies?
Whereas the ASDAR Yavapai chapter of Prescott Valley, Arizona is sponsoring National American Indian Heritage Month in the Tri-City area during the month of November. And whereas the history and culture of our great nation have been significantly influenced by American Indians and indigenous peoples, and whereas the contributions of American Indians have enhanced the freedom, prosperity, and greatness of America today, and whereas their customs and traditions are respected and celebrated as part of a rich legacy throughout the United States, and whereas Native American Awareness Week began in 1976, and recognition was expanded by Congress and approved by President George Bush in August 1990, designating the month of November as National Indian Heritage Month. And whereas in honor of National American Indian Heritage Month, community celebrations as well as numerous cultural, artistic, educational, and historical activities have been planned, now therefore I, Kapalgura, Mayor of the Town of Prescott Valley, Arizona, do hereby declare November 2020 as Native American Indian Heritage Month in the Town of Prescott Valley, and urge all of our citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities.
Hello. Is it on? Okay. I'm Debbie Lamb, and I'm the regent for Yavapai Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution. I'd like to introduce Bev Stewart Barak, and she is our chapter chair for the American Indian Scholarship Committee. Also taking pictures is Kathy Mockmer, and she's our vice regent for the chapter. But I'd like to thank you for this proclamation at this time, and that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you for joining us. We'll get picture. We'll get there.
We do more than just come and collect a proclamation, of course, and you probably heard some of the things that we do. We have a college in Oklahoma that we support, a high school in Oregon that we support. We have scholarships that we give, and one of the more important things, I think, is that each and every meeting, I give them a report, the members, of what's going on, whether it's history or whether it's what's going on with the Indians right now. And unfortunately, most of it's not good news, as we know. Occasionally, we have something wonderful to report, but thank you all for being here, and thank the town of Prescott Valley for this proclamation.
All right, we're moving on. This will be our scheduled announcements, and we are doing the Healing Fields essay winners. Will Nora Wilcombe, Braden Chapman, and Caleb Hale please come down? Ladies, you're also welcome.
We just wanted to say how much we appreciate these students. This is a student essay contest that we do every year, and we just had amazing essays this year. They were so creative and not the normal essays. So we're really proud of these kids, especially in this pandemic time. It was really special to get these essays. And our first place winner is Nora Wickman. Our second place is Braden Chapman. And third place is Caleb Hale. Congratulations to all of you. Yes, and if the families would like to come down so we could get some pictures, that would be great.
Where can we view the essays?
Didn't we put
We'll,
them online?
yeah, we'll work on that. Are there any teachers here? Are there any other teachers here tonight? we'll put them on our Facebook page. Go to Prescott Valley Healing Field of Northern Arizona, and we'll put them up by Monday. All right, thank you.
Moving on, council comments. Councilman Packard?
I'm good.
Vice Mayor?
I'm good.
Councilman Grossman?
I just want to reiterate, one of the proclamations that we did regarding No Shave November, the importance of having your prostate checked at least once a year. I know I have mine done twice a year. I'm in contact with my urologist. It's very important. You got to catch things early. If not, you could be in trouble. But if you catch it early, it's totally preventable. So stay on top of that. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Councilwoman?
Go ahead.
I had the opportunity to take some expired medication to the police department and turn it in. You can even take expired over-the-counter medicine like Tylenol and ibuprofen, and prescriptions, be it expired or not, or ones that you didn't use, to the police department. They have a big metal box there, and it's so darn easy. Staff gives you a bag to put the items in, and you drop them in the big box. It takes about 2 minutes or less, and because I encourage everybody to do that. It's really easy. You get to see our police department. We don't want any medication put in the trash cans to go to our landfill, and we definitely don't want it flushed down the toilet, because that's not good. So please, I encourage you. I just did it. It's super easy. Last night, Councilmember Packard and I attended the Chamber After Hours Mixer, and although we were only half the crowd, it was really good to see some familiar faces again. So I encourage you to watch the Chamber website for upcoming mixers and events. Also consider becoming an individual Chamber member. I am, and it's well worth it. And I too wanted to comment about No Shave November. That's why Dean and I have our sweatshirts on. My hubby ended up being one of the 8 that gets diagnosed with prostate cancer. And because of early detection, he will not be a statistic, and I'm very grateful for that. And I want to thank everyone for their prayers and their well wishes over the last week or two. We were down at Mayo for a couple nights, and he's still recovering at home, not able to go back to work, but we want to thank everybody for that. And then were you going to announce the events next weekend, or do you want me to?
Ma'am, it's all yours.
Okay. So on October 30th from 5 to 8:30, we have Jack-O-Lantern Town, which is going to be right over here. And there's going to be some candy, I think, but mostly movies and a lot of games and fun. And then on Saturday, actually Halloween Day, from noon to 3, in the Finlay Arena parking lot, actually outside where it's nice and healthy, kiddos can go trick-or-treating, and we'll be there dressed up, and it'll be great fun. So I highly encourage you to attend both of our events, and tell all your friends and your neighbors that have little ones, because it'll be big fun.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor, just along those lines, starting October 26th, the Finley Toyota Center, the skating rink will be open. Hours are available. You have to buy tickets in advance, and you have to bring the ticket to get yourself in. And they're going to have a skate on Halloween. I forget what the hours are, but it's on their Facebook page. It's on their website, so you could look it up. It's fairly easy. They start on the 26th, and the skating rink is going to be open until November 9th.
Awesome, thank you. Item 8, consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separate. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'd like to second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Nye?
Yes.
Councilmember Packard?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 9A, appointment to Planning and Zoning Commission, Mr. Gary Roberts. I believe Vice Mayor will be handling this.
I will be handling it. Gary, are you out there? There you are.
Come on down,
behind
Gary.
that green mask. Come on up, Gary. On October 31st, 2020, Gary Roberts' term on the Planning and Zoning Commission will come due for renewal. He has submitted a renewal application letter, and Mr. Roberts was first appointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission on January 10th, 2013 to fill a partial term. And this reappointment will be your 4th term, and I thank you for that. Myself and council members Anderson and Grossman are recommending reappointment of Gary Roberts to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term with a renewal date of October 31st, 2023. Now, why would you come up for a 5th term?
I'm sure it's because of the pay, right? Is it the pay that's getting you up here?
Yeah.
The paycheck?
Well, it's just a pleasure to serve, and I enjoy Prescott Valley and been here for 11 years now. So, and thank you, Council.
Sir, thank you for wanting to be a part of the community and making a difference. So, thank you.
Okay, we'll accept a motion in a second.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Gary Roberts to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term with a renewal date of October 31st, 2020 by electronic vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Packard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nye.
You bet.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. 9B, Planning and Zoning Commission reappointment, Mr. Charles Musara.
Yeah, so Charles, are you out here? With the mask, I'm never sure anymore. On October 31st, 2020, Charles Massara's term on the Planning and Zoning Commission will come due for renewal. He did submit a renewal application letter asking to be reappointed. Mr. Massara was first appointed to a partial term on this commission on January 10th, 2019. And this reappointment will be his 2nd consecutive term. Myself, Councilmember Anderson, and Grossman are most sincerely recommending a reappointment of Charles Massara for a term with a renewal date of October 31st, 2023. And again, we need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Charles Massara to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term with a renewal date of October 31st, 2023 by electronic vote and voice vote.
I'd like to make a second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Nye.
Absolutely.
Councilmember Packard,
Yes.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. And Charles, if you're at home, I just want to thank you for your service, for coming down Prescott Valley, volunteering your time, and trying to make a difference for the town of Prescott Valley. We on council appreciate that, and I know the residents appreciate that. So thanks again, Charles. Moving on, item 9C, agreement with Jacobs Utilities Operations, Maintenance, and Management Services, FY 2020-2021 mid-year adjustment. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor.
Yes. Yes.
Really quick, before I get started, I just wanted to highlight that we placed a copy of the RFCA at each one of your places for the second table that had a slight formatting issue. All the numbers are correct, but it didn't quite line up. So just wanted to provide that for you just in case that was any kind of question that you might have had.
Thank you for that.
And that was on the water meters line on the second table. So Utilities Department is requesting approval of amendment number 1 to the existing Jacobs contract. And that was approved originally by the council on July 23rd of 2020. At that time, Jacobs agreed to an interim contract with no increase. At that time, there was a little bit of uncertainty as to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. So Jacobs graciously agreed to have a zero increase on the base fee. So fast forwarding to October of 2020, town utilities staff negotiated a contract increase with Jacobs, and that is approximately 6.2%. And this table reflects the increase. You've got the current contract at $3.7 million and the proposed amendment at $3.9 for a total increase of the $232,500. Typically, we come to the council each fiscal year, and Jacobs, we work with Jacobs, and usually it's around a 2 or 3% increase. This year, it is slightly higher, and I just wanted to explain a few of the reasons why. Jacobs is going to be adding 2 additional maintenance employees to their staff, and they will be able to work on some of our increased infrastructure, things like our wells that we've added, and a tank, and then we've got our other tank up at Summit that's under construction, and then of course any of the distribution system that's increasing as all of our developments grow each day and new customers are added. Also, because of the growth in our area, that's increased workload on things such as work orders, regulatory compliance sampling, and the administration that goes along with that, and door hangers. And then also Jacobs expressed that they want to stay competitive in the wage market and continue to secure top talent for our utilities operations and maintenance. On the reimbursable items, I highlighted the 3 items that we are increasing for this amendment. And the wastewater repairs were originally at $400,000, and now they are bumped up to $50,000. We've got various things that we need to repair in our wastewater system. And we've got the biosolids. Those increased from $385,000 to $400,000, and that's a total of a $15,000 increase. And we've also got the magnesium hydroxide, which is added back into the reimbursable items. That was out for a short time. We had some chemical feed system upgrades that we're doing, and that is just about completed. And because that's almost completed, we've added it back in so that we can implement that chemical, and that actually helps with wastewater odors and minimizes corrosion to our wastewater system. So this is a table summary of the amended contract value. We've got the base fees at the 3.9 and reimbursable items at 1.9 million for a total of $5.9 million. And this does exclude the special projects because that, of course, was approved in the original contract back in July. And that is the end of my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Council, any additional questions that were not covered? Sir, nicely done. Appreciate your time, and if there's no further questions, can we have a motion, please?
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve an amendment to the agreement with CH2M Hill, OMI, otherwise known as Jacobs, for operations, maintenance, and management services in fiscal year 2021 in the amount of $357,500 by electronic vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Nye?
Yes.
Councilmember Packard?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 9D, 2020 Civic Center Bronze Sculpture Project, artist approval. Welcome, everyone.
Hi there.
Welcome.
Good to see you, Mayor, council people. Good to see you all. My name is Isabella Tuning. I'm the Arts and Culture Coordinator for the town, and I get to work with our Arts and Culture Commissioners, all of these wonderful people here. So We would love to tell you all an update about our 2020 Civic Center Bronze Sculpture Project.
Great.
And provide a recommendation to you all. All right, so just a little bit of background on this project, just to fill everyone in. We've been working on this for the past approximately 3 months, starting back in August of 2020. We received a bequest from the Jenkins estate, which we were so lucky to be able to be awarded $250,000 of from you all. And back then, we created a public call to artists based off of an assessment of the site, which is the southeast corner of the Civic Center Plaza here near the PD. And we also based our call off of public feedback from the public call that we did back in 2015. So based off of all that, we released our call in September to the public, and staff facilitated site tours with interested artists, as well as facilitating submissions and interactions with artists and artist groups, which were very many. And then in that process, the Arts and Culture Commission assembled a selection committee to review those pieces. And then in October, the selection committee went ahead and reviewed all of the submissions. They made their recommendations based on ranking to the Arts and Culture Commission. And the commissioners viewed the top 6 submissions based on ranking and went ahead and made their selection to view to you all. So, a little about our call to artists. We did publicize the call on our town website, on social media. We had an article featured in the Tribune, and we advertised on the Arizona Commission for the Arts website, as well as myself sending applications directly to all of our wonderful local artists and regional artists. So I think you all are familiar with the call, but just to kind of sum it up, the commission decided to ask for a sculpture that best represented local flora and fauna of our area, a bronze sculpture particularly, and they wanted it to incorporate a water feature as well. So those were kind of the 4 major things that we were really looking for: bronze construction, flora, fauna, and a water feature. And the total project budget was $110,000. Just a little reminder, the $110,000 was for the artist to fabricate and install the piece itself, and the town is going to take care of the site construction, but other than that, everything else is included in that $110,000. So we were really lucky to come up with a wonderful selection committee that was very broad, including 2 of our commissioners who sit on our Art at the Center committee, Nancy Smith and Andy Sinclair. These 2 here. And Miss Laura Lee Nye sat on our selection committee. She has all the background in the world on this type of a project, so we couldn't have done it without her input. And we had Anna Trotter, who's the president of the Prescott Valley Art Guild, as well as a young artist, Summer Fritz. She's actually the winner of the Best in Show for the Youth Arts Month. We wanted a young person's opinion as well. And then Brian Robertson and Chris Wade Jones, both associate professors of visual arts at Yavapai College. So based on the review of the selection committee, the Arts and Culture Commission narrowed their selection down to really the top 3 submissions based on their visual impact, their adherence to the call, and the overall impression of the pieces. So we did want to show you all 3 of those top pieces just to give you an idea of what was submitted. This ended up being their 3rd choice. So this was from artist Peter Hazel, and the commission agreed that they loved the design of this, and it really celebrated the local flora, but they did want to focus on something that celebrated both flora and fauna, so that's why this submission was not the one they went with. We also had this wonderful submission from Tom Bollinger of Bollinger Atelier. And this really hits all of the points. The commission really enjoyed it visually. The only thing that they were concerned with was that it is at ground level, and they wanted to make sure that this sculpture was very safe year-round, as it is a water feature as well. So it needs to function as both sculpture and water feature. And the piece that they did land on was from artist Tom White. The commission agreed that this really hits all the elements. Flora, fauna, it is a water feature, and it's predominantly of bronze construction. It really is a great example of everything they were looking for, so we'll show you a little bit more about it. So Tom White, turns out, although we did a blind process through this entire process, the commissioners and the selection committee had no clue which artists submitted which pieces whatsoever. It turns out the artist that they selected is from Prescott Valley. He is a local sculptor, which we love. We love that. So this is Tom White. So Tom White has created over 80 monumental bronze artworks and public artworks, so this is really his background. He's had pieces all over the world, actually, but currently he doesn't have any here in Prescott Valley, so where he lives. So that's just a couple examples of his previous work, so you all can see just the caliber of the work that we're looking at. Very high quality, and you can see here he provides photographic examples of what he was working off of, so he can do the realism and he can do the lifelike. So this is his clay sketch that he provided to us. He really went above and beyond just creating a pencil sketch. He wanted a 3D model of this bronze concept. So it's a buck and doe antelope, a javelina with a cactus, and then a century plant. He came out to the site multiple times in the design process and viewed the rest of the art at the center and really took that into consideration. And he designed the base to kind of mimic what you see in our Not So Gentle Tamer, that round base. And then the water would be spilling out of the rocks into the shallow pool with a circulating pump. And they really wanted to design the base to be a seat, somewhere where people can sit, view the artwork, and enjoy. So the piece is 1.25 times life, which would put it at approximately 12 feet in diameter and approximately 15 feet in height. So we would be able to see this as we drive down both Skoog and Lakeshore. You would definitely be able to see it from those both approaches. All right, so really we just want to go over our final recommendation to council for this project. So the Arts and Culture Commission believes that this submission by artist Tom White from Tom White Studios Incorporated is really the best possible outcome that they could have asked for this call. He incorporated all of the elements into the call, the local flora, fauna, bronze construction, and a water feature. He has an extensive background in this type of sculpture, so we really trust that he will be able to complete this project on time, on budget, and he's local, which is a great surprise at the end of all of this, because these monies were donated to the town by a local family, and by using a local artist, not only are we able to support a local artist, we're also able to recirculate those monies right back into our town. He really has a deep understanding of our area and of the Civic Center and of Prescott Valley, and he spoke a lot in his submission about how he and his wife love Prescott Valley deeply. They want to live and die here, and he stated that in his submission. He loves it here, and I think that shows in his piece. So we and the commission, myself and the commission, we love this piece. We would love to recommend it to council for this project, and we'd love to take questions if anyone has any or comments.
I'll start with a question. In reference to the sculpture, we have the woman. How tall is she? The tamer.
I believe with the base,
Base.
she's 15 or 16
So it'll be
feet
roughly
tall.
about that same height level? Okay.
Yeah.
Just for people at home if they're not quite sure what to compare that to.
Yes.
So, awesome, thank you. Vice Mayor?
You didn't mention something I think really important. The javelina is nibbling on the flora.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
children are going to really like that because
Yeah.
they're going to be the first ones to notice that.
Yeah, he designed the javelina to be nibbling on the cactus.
Town Manager, you have something?
Yes, I would really like to compliment the Arts and Culture Commission, the selection group. Isabella, thank you very much for keeping this project on track, on budget, on time, which, given the nature of the project, never happens. And you're there. And so, hats off to you, because quite frankly, it's pretty rare that when you have an art piece and everything involved in it, that you even come close to staying on budget and on time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Tom White lives down the street, so I'll be able to make sure it stays on track.
Council, anything else?
Yeah, I'll just repeat what you've already said regarding the how lucky we are that it's a local artist. In the past, when we've had some artists, we've been questioned as to why'd you pick somebody from out of town, and they don't understand the concept of a blind selection. But this is so fortuitous to us, and seeing the quality of his work in previous events, I mean, this is going to be great. I mean, and I'm sure the family is going to be also extremely happy, that their money is going to be going to something so worthwhile. So thank you. I mean, you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Would you guys like to add anything? All right.
I just have a quick comment, too, that I still picture it as being a wishing fountain, and I think there's going to be lots of coins in the water.
With that being said, can we get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the recommendation of the Arts and Culture Commission to select the Statement of Qualifications known as the SOQ, submitted by artist Tom White of Tom White Studios Incorporated for the 2020 Civic Center Bronze Sculpture Project by electronic vote.
Second.
Clerk, please call the vote. Bella, while we're voting, when does he start? When does the artist start doing his thing?
So tomorrow, yeah. He can provide a larger scale maquette in the next few months here, and he guarantees that he'll be on track for November completion of the entire project, November 2021.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, yes, and we do intend to invite Tom to the next meeting as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Councilmember Packard?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nye?
Absolutely.
That passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, folks.
Thank
for
you
coming
all.
out.
Great job.
Item 9E, declare amendments to Chapter 7, Building and 14 subdivisions regarding use of durable paper for permanent plats and plans. Public record, adopt resolution number 2161. Mr. Parker?
Mayor, Council, yes, you're considering a resolution which saves the town money when we go to advertise ordinances. So your first order of business would be to declare that public record as part of this resolution. Second item is resolution, I believe, 880, regards the discrepancies or clears up the discrepancies between our subdivision regulations and our building permit or building code, which describes Mylar, which is a plastic coating that you place plats and things like that. The state of Arizona approves durable paper, and so we are saying either one of these methods would be appropriate. So we are proposing to amend the subdivision regulations so they are consistent throughout, as well as consistent with the town's building code. With that, I respond to the question. First item, again, is to adopt the resolution. Second item, you would approve adoption of the ordinance, reading twice, first time by title only. With that, I'd respond to your questions.
Richard, I have a quick question. So in here you say that, say both, so they could still do Mylars if it's compliant with the state.
Correct.
So do we think it's compliant? Are we going to have any complaints, you think?
There's a provision in the state archival folks. They have a standard that establishes the durability of the paper medium, and we would, by reference to that, we've adopted that standard, which is being proposed in Resolution 880. It's oftentimes much less expensive, more easily produced than Mylar.
Anything else for Richard at this moment?
I can attest that the Javelin at my house eat, the gaggle of them that are my neighbors eat everything in sight.
I'd like to make a motion. Motion to authorize the mayor in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2161, declaring amendments to Chapter 7, Building, and 14 subdivisions regarding use of durable paper for permanent plats and plans to be a public record by electronic and voice vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Nye?
Yes.
Councilmember Packard?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. 9F, clarifying use of Mylar and paper for permanent plans and plots, ordinance number 880. This is the first reading. Can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion. I could pull it down here. Come on. Motion to read ordinance number 880, adopting by reference a document declared by resolution number 2161 to be a public record, by reading ordinance number 880 by title only on 2 separate occasions, then placing the same on final passage by electronic and voice vote.
I'd like to second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Packard?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nye?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Will you at this time please read by this ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 880. An ordinance of the Mayor and Common Council of the Town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, adopting by reference a document entitled Amendments to Chapter 7, Building, and 14 Subdivisions regarding use of durable paper for permanent plats and plans, declared by resolution number 2161 to be a public record, which amends section 7-01-040 definitions, 7-02-350J, amendment of Appendix J, grading of the International Building Code, 14-02-050 final plat stage, and 14-02-060 information required for final plat submittal to allow permanent plats and plans to be submitted on durable paper that meets composition standards established by the Arizona State Library, Archives, and Public Records, providing that all other articles, sections, and subsections in Chapters 7 and 14 not herein amended shall remain in full force and effect, providing that if any provision in this ordinance is held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remaining provision shall not be affected but shall continue in full force and effect, and providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 9G, design bid construction oversight services, Coyote Springs School Pedestrian Project. Mr. Judy.
Mayor, Council, as you're aware, the town was recently the recipient of a $500,000 CDBG grant. That money has been allocated for the construction of a sidewalk along Cattle Track Drive near Coyote Springs Elementary School on the east side of the road with dog legs going into Antelope Park into the elementary school itself. Part of the grant requirements require us to competitively secure a engineer for the project, so we issued a request for qualifications. We had 5 submissions, and the committee got together to evaluate those. The most qualified for this project was Dave and Associates, so we are here to recommend a contract with them in the amount of $85,080. That includes completing the design, bidding, documents, and construction administration. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Ryan, how far is Yucca for those at home away from Viewpoint? Or, I'm sorry, Roundup.
I'm guessing it's about 1,500 linear feet. Yeah, if we get good bids, we'll continue the march south. We'll take it as far as the money will go.
And this is just a great opportunity to add a sidewalk and then provide some safety for our students. I'm sure many of you know that up in that area, a lot of them do walk to Coyote Springs Elementary, and it is a great addition to our streets right there. So,
and we'll also have street lights at the major intersections there as part of the project, so it'll be
that's just terrific.
Safety at nighttime as well.
Well, nicely done. Anything else for Ryan? Vice Mayor?
I would just like to thank Ryan. Ryan, I don't know if everybody fully understands how hard Ryan works to bring these dollars back. Mm-hmm. And I serve on committees that approve some of these things. And I have people tell me, if Ryan's doing it, I don't want to submit.
I've gotten lucky a few times.
That's all right.
Ryan, this is going to be during summer, so it'll be the kids can use it the 2021 August.
That's correct.
Okay.
And the idea behind that is we avoid the school traffic, so it's a good time to do these kinds of projects when the school's not in session.
All right, if there's nothing else for Ryan, can we get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the attached agreement with Dava and Associates in the amount of $85,080 for the design, build, and construction oversight services for the Coyote Springs School Pedestrian Project, CIP number S472 and CDBG number 13-21 by electronic vote.
Can we second? Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Nye?
Definitely.
Councilmember Packard?
Yes.
It passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Ryan, could you send the first picture, text that to me if you would, please? Thank you. Clerk, could you please read number 10? Go ahead and read it.
Comments from the public?
Comments, yes, please.
I can't see the comments from the public.
Vice Mayor, can you then please just read number 10?
I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it? Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm ready. Comments from the public. Consideration and discussion of general unscheduled comments from the public. Those wishing to address the council need not request permission in advance. Any such remarks shall be addressed to the council as a whole and not to any member thereof. Such remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. At the conclusion of the unscheduled comments, individual members of the council may respond to the item addressed at the discretion of the mayor, or they may ask the town manager to review the matter or ask that the matter be placed on a future agenda.
Thank you. This is your opportunity, folks. If you'd like to come on down, say a few words. Anyone? No? Not at this time. I would take a moment here. I'd like to recognize Dre out in the audience. She's a citizen here in Prescott Valley who took it upon herself to make a few phone calls and got some donations to the Prescott Valley Police Department this past week. So I had numerous officers come up to me and say how thankful they were for that. So, ma'am, thank you for taking that initiative. I would have mentioned this earlier. I just didn't see you until just now. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to item 11. Clerk, please read that one.
Motion to convene into an executive session in order to conduct the annual review and evaluation of the performance of the Magistrate Judge Keith Carson. The executive session is scheduled pursuant to Arizona Revised Statutes Section 38-431.03A1, which allows for discussion or consideration of employment, assignment, or appointment of a public officer, appointee, or employee.
Thank you, ma'am. So, folks, at this time, we're going to call it quits for you folks. You get to go home. Or you don't have to go
we
home.
need to actually have the motion you made.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Packard,
Vote.
before you leave.
Just say yes.
Vice Mayor Nye?
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. Again, folks, I'm not kicking you out to go home, but you just can't stay here. That's all. So enjoy your evening.
Not kicking you out, but